In this video, we are going to see how we can enter the vendors and their balances in Sage Line 50. So what you can do is just go to the vendors and purchases section. And as we can see, all the activities regarding the vendors are right here. But first of all, we need to create the new vendors. After that, we can enter all of the details later on. So click on the vendors and click on new. It will open up this maintain vendors or the setup wizard where we have some compulsory fields. Actually, there is only 2 compulsory fields which has a static with it, and rest of the information we have the choice. Either we can enter it now or we can enter it later on whenever we like. So let's mention a code, something like V100, and the vendor name is Daniel. So let me just paste it right here. We can enter all of these information later on. Now the expense account, it looks like you need to enter the cost of goods sold here, but we will enter the inventory. If that vendor is directly connected to the purchase of the items that we are planning to sell, then whatever we have purchased with this vendor should be an inventory. So let me just choose inventory, which is on 1200. Now, depending on the version you have, your code might be different, so you have to locate for it. So after that, just click on the second tab, which is address. We can set all of these address details, default address. Later on, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty self-explanatory. So let's go to the history and we will enter that this vendor is since, let's consider it 1st of January, because at 1st of January, we are implementing the software. So we can choose any other date as well, but we will choose it like this. So click on vendor beginning balances, click save and yes. Let's enter 2001 as an invoice number, 1st of January. No need to enter the purchase order number, and the balance is 50,000. So let me just write 50,000. Accounts payable is already set, but let me just make sure that the correct account is selected. Yes, it is. Click on save and close. And we have the balance right here. Purchase info, we don't need to make any changes here. Click on save and new. And now we will enter our second vendor, which is V200. This is the unique code. And the vendor name is Cyan. Just copy this, paste it right here. And we can specify all of these details. Inventory, we will select the inventory account. Let's go to the address. We don't need to make any changes. History, let me just make it 1st of January. And vendor beginning balances, click yes. 2002, 1st of January. And the amount we have is 80,000. So 80,000. Accounts payable is already selected. Click on save, close out of here. And purchase info is all set. Let me just save. And this is how you can enter the vendors along with the vendors details. Now let's go to the main section under the vendors and purchases, and we can see that vendors are still not showing here. What we need to do is refresh from the top, and there we go. We have it right here. So this is how we can enter the vendors along with the balances in Sage 50. Just try it by yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.